our next speakers. By the way, I just want you all to know the way we are clapping on this is we're waving our hands to let the speaker know how moving what they have said was to us. And I just have to say that is moving. I think so many of us have experienced someone who has been affected by the COVID-19 or just because of our age's death. And to hear this story is quite beautiful. Thank you. Our next poet is Raymond Nat Turner, and I just want to tell you that Raymond is currently Raymond. Hold on just a sec. I'm looking for your name in the list. You're already on then.
Okay. Oh, is it unmuted? Okay.
It's unmuted. Yes, sorry. I'm here crying. It's unmuted. You can go now, Raymond.
Okay. For Breonna Taylor and my bride. Oh, I wish I could sing her name like Brother Ray or Reed, 'cause Breonna Taylor real close to Breonna Turner to me. I wish I could sing her name like Abby, Nina, or Big Paul, celebrating the sunny June home birth I recall. I wish I could sing her name like Mahalia or Clara Ward, feeling my hand again, cutting an umbilical cord. I wish I could sing her name like Sarah or Natalie Cole, but the recorder reminds me that that's not my role. I wish I could sing her name like Little Richard or Betty Wright, hearing Mingus's Haitian song that urges us to fight. I wish I could sing her name and other names, other towns, galvanizing Black folks, and 50 million John Browns. Essential work, thank you. We'll always need race car drivers roaring down streets where children chase balls. Like we'll always need peaceful protesters pepper sprayed like cockroaches. And we'll always need sleeping 7-year-olds shot while dreaming of dolls. Sleepovers, tooth fairies. We'll always need children playing with toy guns in parks, executed before becoming Hulk Hogan's. We'll always need doors kicked in and our daughters and sons slaughtered in wee hours, even if it is the wrong address. We'll always need elderly parents whacked for accidentally pressing emergency alerts. Like we'll always need mentally ill loved ones massacred in our homes. We'll always need men rushing pregnant wives to hospitals shot for speeding, and fathers of 6 hustling too hard, chokehold lynched. We'll always need young women who drive and smoke, stopped and suicided, and mothers wearing masks wrong wrestle down in subway stations as their 4-year-olds watch. We'll always need wallets mistaken for guns, Glocks for tasers, fleeing Black men shot in their backs, and bridegrooms butchered night before their weddings. We'll always need taser, hearts, skanking, and reggae and broken broomsticks rammed up men's rectums for fun. We'll always need bruised, bloody, disfigured faces, eyeballs dangling from sockets. We'll always need drugs and guns planted, growing into cases, concertina wire, and COVID-19. We'll always need right hooves raised, test the line to judges and juries of peers on the need for knees on necks. 56 licks or 41 shots served to protect poverty. A thief, a thug, clown in a rug, a tweet, DC, a lie, a cheat, embellish and broader, a lying disorder, a myth, a fable, a bit unstable, flim flam, clap trap, bunkum, bull crap, an empty wagon, a puffed up dragon, a whopper, a fib, you peep from your crib, a sham, a fake, a major mistake, pathological lying, false flag flying, a grope, a trope, bad jokes, breaststrokes, a grope of a crotch, another man notch, where they debauch over water and scotch, a trumped up story, cock and bull glory, a foot in the mouth for strategy sound, pie in the sky, a bare-faced lie, a pig in disguise, fooling some eyes, playing fast and loose with Jim Jones juice, a masquerade, a Nazi parade, fake great nation, same plantation, a bug in the hall, a fly on the wall, a great big whale, an ongoing tale, a parade in July, another big lie, a wink of an eye, enough, I'll cry. A thief, a thug, clown in a rug, a tweet, DC, a lie, a cheat, time for feet in the street, sustaining street heat. Thank you. So that concludes what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Kim, for inviting me.
Thank you, Raymond. That was incredible. Well, our next speaker is Ziggy Lowenberg, and there Ziggy is. I once again, I just want the audience to know, this is a treat for so many of us. We haven't seen each other, and just to see each other's faces is just a pure delight. It's just so beautiful. And Ziggy, tell us a little bit about yourself before you begin to read.
I'm Ziggy Lowenberg, and I co-lead with the founder of Upsurge in Upsurge, New York City when we were in New York. Raymond Nat Turner is my creative partner and husband and founded Upsurge, and I do performance poetry with him, and I've been writing some essays as well. And I'm honored to be part of this community for years and just to see it blossom year over year, decade over decade. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much bitter with the sweet. It really is too much, this world now, maybe always. Cycles of pause where you snatch breath and notice beauty separate from excruciating horror. The maror, delicious liberation, follows bitter herb. Stories told every spring. The enslaved resist, clamor for justice, escape Mitzrayim, that narrow place. bitter with the sweet. You cower from muchness now, its unrelenting demand, how deep and thick the morass, roots impacted, pray to stay alive this one more night, through sirens, helicopters, rubber bullets, tear gas, the world over. This is the lethal familiar. As if an occupied curfew can soothe with its coarse burlap uniform of war. The artists carry you through, lifted in their arms like a baby in a basket saved from swift river, tossed softly, your adolescent angst, nourished to buoyant. Milk rinse your eyes, gather honey and drop to any patch of earth. Brush your skin on the surface of buds, verdant roots, dew of renewal. Okay, move along, fold your soapbox, mic in hand, mostly never a gun, but a hammer, a wallet, a phone, a bell, a song rung with sweat. While imagine all the people plays your internal boombox. Read Aunt Gertie, in memory of Clara Lemlich, Gertrude Aronson, and Sandra Bland, for Mom. Ich hab etwas zu sagen. Let me start again, sorry. This is Yiddish, the first line. Ich hab etwas zu sagen. I have something to say. Once upon a time ago, New York City thousands marched. Stop the lynching, her cloth banner billowed, rippling arch marching. Greenwich Village comrades, party folk, shining red ripe for revolution. Gertrude strode and shouted, wool-stockinged leather heels punctuating cobblestones. Gertrude strode and shouted. Righteous indignation, flushing cheeks, stamping feet, raising crimson flags. Decades later, New York City thousands march, gripping hand-lettered signs, vocal weft of textured accents, echo off vaulted skyscrapers, surging shades of human tapestry, weaving the grid, blocking the box. Names of the newly, bluely lynched, peeling from megaphones. Feet chanting on asphalt, whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Under no single banner, she strides and shouts, Gertrude's niece, still marching.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Excuse me, I butt in across the room. I don't know the rules here, but I know we all were once from the same tribe. Threads from tattered flags pull me towards you, float along the ocean that fools the eye with its expanse. We are salt, we are water, we are sand. Pogroms and raids, marches and parades, a border, a wall. We've seen them all. We stand for migrant justice, so toss ice on the rocks, their kinder transport and roadblocks. Families carry refugee heartache, no rules to follow, no laws to break, threads from tattered flags, grim tales stuffed in bags, holding your child's hand. We are salt, we are water, we are sand, no rules to follow, no laws to break, for now we woke and won't let go. We are the embrace, and to you, your generations, I am tethered. Somos unidos. alle ein Menschen. We are salt, we are water, we are sand, we are one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziggy. I'm just saying, I am so happy to be here and to hear these marvelous voices. Our next marvelous voice is Wanda, Wanda, I'm working to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? It's not, oh, great. Wanda, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself before you begin to read?
Yes. Thank you, Kim, for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful gathering of writers and artists and people that love words and realize the power of words. I am Wanda Sabir, and I live in Alameda, and I teach at the College of Alameda, and I'm a journalist. I have a radio show, and I'm a mother and a grandmother and a daughter and a great-granddaughter and great-great-great-granddaughter. And I want to thank all of my relations, all of my ancestors for blessing me to be here, especially my mother for having me 62 years ago. I really appreciate that because she didn't have to make that choice. And I want to share two pieces. One is called Mythology Attached to Blackness. The references to burial sites is lost, perhaps to those with shovels. But for those persons whose ancestors wanted dead, not alive, once stock options expired, could not miss the 6 feet apart references. 6 feet under, 6 feet. I walk among the dead. I am a ghost with possibility extinguished at birth. 6 feet under, I see kin swimming nowhere. Anchors attached to nooses, attached to pre-existing conditions like covenants and expired insurance policies. There's a mythology attached to blackness, like we don't swim, we just drown. Perhaps the tears we tend to wallow in create sinkholes. Jaws open, swallowed, we swim inside a belly. Dark, we search for light and find more darkness. The mythology attached to a narrative of supremacy, one where Black people are not people. You know, we die, but not with dignity afforded even beasts, domesticated pets. This mythology attached to Blackness leaves my people alone, isolated, looked upon with contempt. Systems supported by cheap labor, spin on wheels oiled by dispensable humanity. Black mythology. People step off curbs, yell expletives. It would be funny except for Baba Emmett, it was too late. The joke. White people have no humor. 6 feet under, Emmett's body changed to narratives that say, Black boys don't get to grow up. Black people as surplus. Emmett linked to a genetic circuit passed through inheritance. Auction blocks and stocks marketed differently now with the same result. COVID-19, Corona, crown, beheaded. Black people stumble into graves. 6 feet under, 6 feet below sea level. We reach for sky and find more dirt, gravel, broken ladders and distilled promises. Even with a pink supermoon, its largesse was only an illusion. The moon is still 238,855 miles from the earth and even further from the sun, 93 million miles away. Even though it looks close, like broken legislative amendments to an anemic constitution, Justice sitting with her sister Liberty, both marooned on an island off the coast of a big apple. Apples laced with poisonous promises. Black mythology. It's a question of resilience, if only, but we don't. Black people don't bounce, we jump, remember? We run, remember? Chase, we cannot slow down except through death. Running is what people do who are alive. Walking is for the dead. Balls bounce like boomerangs, Sankofa symbols and pyramids. We do return. Blackness indivisible, permanent like dark matter that births life. But this is a philosophical wonder that has limited practicality as one is running from police or stopped at a red light or unmasked in the face of COVID-19. Topsoil, pressure cookers, steam kettles tip over historic landmarks 6 feet under. Applied racism like applied math is practical. Resilience looks like. Applied racism like applied math is practical. Resilience looks like hypertension, prostate cancer, liver disease, sugar diabetes, kidney stones, tumors, glaucoma, gout, renal failure, asthma, persistent trauma. Inside Greedy Monster's belly, we take small breaths, disappear or at least try to with passwords etched in DNA. Swallow stinging nettle to stop itching, racism covers epidermis, solitary confinement, shelter in place, anxiety. We are magic. I think I remember a poem about magic. Oh yes, Joy Holland spoke about magic and voodoo and blackness in one sentence. I count steps, just as I time hand washing rituals. Out spot, the queen said. However, when she looked, her hands were still covered in blood. This nation is covered in blood. Cleanliness is a myth too, like blackness.
Thank you.
So my second and final poem is one that Kim inspired. It's called Now is All That Matters. Now is all that is certain. So why not seize, smell, and taste, share and devour one's portion? Just in case this memory is all we have left when day breaks, pieces scattered everywhere. Cake is good, but let them have poetry. Just a few lines, stitch riffs in seams growing frayed, refreshing the unseen with delicious sweet imagery as it melts and drips from open lips coating necks and throats. For a moment, all is well, well as in deep recesses, the kind of open, whole galaxies are made. The kind cows without wings leap and buoyantly soar above. Moonbeams lit below Milky Ways. All is well, well as in wellness, holding the yet to be born, preparing space for rebirth, calling forth what is past, remembrance. Life is only memory on replay. We are poetry. We are the memories that paper tomorrow. We are the homecoming to self today prepares us for. Allah speaks of words directed toward the right, righteous words, words that bandage wounds and comfort sorrow. Poets carry medicine in their mouths, 32 quills dipped in wells of inspiration. These carefully nuanced baptismal moans spray across what is finite, seeds for tomorrows. Across lit fields fertilized with possibility. We crown ourselves in new languages, corona, crown chakra, our dance to rhythms in the air. We light candles with matches made of marrow and marrow, clay, mud, water, sand, fire, earth, air, flesh, breath, words, poetry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wanda. That was absolutely beautiful. To me, I'm going to just say, just hearing all of you today is a gift. It is like, I am so emotional and I
You're
apologize.
so attractive.
You're so silly. Oh, hi there. So, Eugene, are you planning to read? I also have Jose. Jose, can we have you read right after Eugene? Would that be all right?
Yes, that's fine.
Beautiful, Jose. Okay, so Eugene, we are going to have you read. And I just want to say a little bit about Eugene. He is a poet laureate of St. Louis. And also he was one of the major voices of the Black arts movement. And so it's really a treat. Eugene is one of those people that has been around for the struggle and is just amazing, as you all are. So Eugene, are you ready to read? Are we stuck? Hold on just a sec.
Unmute him. He's still muted.
Oh, who's muted?
Jane is muted.
Oh, okay, hold on for just a sec. Just take a sec.
he could do *6 and unmute himself.
Okay, Eugene, can you unmute yourself? Because I'm looking for you.
*6 will do it.
For some reason, Eugene's not coming up. Okay, hold on.
Depending on what system he's using, it may be at the bottom of the screen where it says mute or unmute or start video to the far left.
I'm wondering if Eugene,
Eugene, at the bottom far left, mute or unmute. You don't have that? No, I guess not. Okay.
okay, something's going on for, just to hold on a sec, everyone. Just take a sec.
Red line. Okay.
Oh, I'm okay. Can you hear me now?
Now it's okay.
Okay. My daughter's, I'm in kindergarten technologically,
So am I.
maybe pre-kindergarten.
Oh,
Wow. And Treasure has children. I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm daddy. I had about 50 calls today for Father's Day.
Mm.
Not to mention emails and texts and so on and so forth.
well,
But a lot of them were from people, they're not biologically mine, but, you know, I was in the classroom for almost 50 years, so I have thousands of students all over the world. Going back to 1968, 52 years ago, I started teaching. 53 years. And, you know, that was street academies and the public schools, parochial schools, underfoot trips to prisons, crisis centers, mental institutions, shelters. You know the deal, Avatsya. All of you know what I'm talking about. And that's what I spent my last, well, I'm 82. And I've spent the last 60 years doing what I just said. So, and I hail from East St. Louis. I'm a couple of thousand miles from where I think most of you are. And my roots are in Arkansas and Mississippi. And so I call the people from this region Arkansipians. I created 2 words for my my last book of poetry, came out of Haki Madhubuti's Third World Press, Arkansipi Memoirs, and you'll see how I spell memoirs. So that's our story, right? That's what we endured and are enduring. I'm going to read a pastiche, and the little poem. The longest one is 2 minutes. I hail from East St. Louis, Illinois, and I'm kind of proud of that because Miles Davis and Jackie Jonah Kersey and James Rosser, who just retired as president of Cal State LA, and I were all went to that school. And it's like Reginald Lockett used to brag about, what's the great school in Oakland? Yeah, he used to brag about it. And so where we come from, of course, we're very much immersed in that area, in that place. Multicoastal and liquid lavished earth drums its dirges and ditties. Toni Morrison, her novels stare at us and each other from stands, shelves, stacks, and Oprah TV. Blues-eyed women, sunken men, goddesses, gods. The birth of an ancestor for Miles Dewey Davis III in 1926 to 1991, in memoriam and futurium. And I read this at Miles's funeral at his and my alma mater, Lincoln School in East St. Louis. Dum 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 dum. Dressed up in pain, the flatted fifth began his funereal climb up the tribal stairwell. Dum 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 dum. Grief radiant as it bulged and gleamed with moan. Spread like laughter, ha ha ha, or Ethiopia's wings. Mourned its own percussive rise. Became blues born in the hoarse East St. Louis air. Bore witness to the roaring calm, the garrulous silence, the caskets of tears, the gushing stillness, the death of the cool, dum, 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 became the birth of an ancestor. Yeah, y'all. The death of the cool became the birth of an ancestor. And 3 poems that are about 9 seconds each, known as the Kwansaba, invented in our workshop in East St. Louis. Still word and deed bonding, a 100-year-old Kwansaba. 1917, the slaughter of hundreds of East St. Louisans. To 2017, when our Centennial Commission activated itself and just did hundreds of programs in the schools, the churches, and so on for that whole year. We miss no minds, just mesh them artfully, like poets investing in an economy of speech, as house calling omens of 60s mind Africanities and resolve. We're ornate, innate staples and bonds, our own forebearers ending 100-year-long night of rafting across a burning river. And so many of my friends and relatives escaped death by building rafts and actually rowing across the Mississippi River and took up residence there. So we're, by river, the river connects us. Another Kwansaba is formed. For long distance runners, voice lifted and wakeful rhymers, we salvage battle-born selves, savaged between an endless racial fault line and a gun-lit alley twisting toward us like a tornado. Whether next door or wars away, we fold nightly mares into solar systems, reclaim selves again, from hands up to suns down. Kwansaba poets Sonia Sanchez and Jessica Care Moore fly to Planet Ferguson 2015. Led by Du Bois's surgeon of divided eye, Dunbar the suturer, River Jordan's June, and Solar Orbs, Amiri and Maya, triage poets Sonia and Jessica invade race-scaped hospice. Hear the cushion with a K orature with Ya Asatewa's anti-doses of Nomo Solo reruns and serums. Sisters salvage racial victim and vagrant on planet Ferguson. Another Kwansaba. By the way, Ya Santewa is also the name of my 13-year-old granddaughter. Shot Kwansaba, Resurrection of the Blues on planet Ferguson. Shot and sawed off at their knees. He slumped forward toward a second death. His Black Boy Glory was not a perfect song, as it flatted like a fifth face down on an asphalt cross. He arose, happy as a warrior mourner in Tornado Alley, reborn again as blues. Coronavirus antidote. The big house prescribes a grim grain cocktail of bleach and disinfectant. Plantation's minions hail and imbibe this Jonestown highball. And finally, be making it a haiku. Now, try to birth yourselves anew, America, minus racism.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Eugene, in much appreciation for your beautiful work.
Appreciate you all. I'm
Aw,
enjoying this. This is great.
that's how we feel about you.
It's great. This
Thank
is the greatest. I think this is one of the greatest poetry readings I've ever been to.
We're having
Thanks to the coronavirus
fun.
and George Floyd
Yes, yes, yes. Thank
for
you.
this.